with the Ron and Fez Show. Thanks for being with us on a Wednesday. Join us tomorrow at Dave & Buster's. You don't want to miss that show at the White Flint Mall in Bethesda, Maryland.
All right, coming up a little later on tonight, we're giving out some Kid Rock tickets. We'll do that in about a half hour or so, so be ready for that. Maybe, well, Fez, your idea is you want to name Lindy England's kid?
Yeah, for Kid Rock.
Yeah.
So Lindy England due in October, I believe. So this baby's going to come quick.
I like the name England, though. I like that angle. I would probably name him John Ford Coley, whatever that's. Remember England Dan?
England Dan and John Ford Coley? Is that right?
That's just so hideous. Hey, Kelly, you're on the Ron and Fez Show.
Hello.
Hello.
I was just calling really quickly to let you guys know exactly who Naomi Campbell is.
All right, because Fez has no idea whatsoever, and yet he has an odd hate for the poor girl.
Well, she used to be a Victoria's Secret model, but she's also Nelson Mandela's granddaughter.
Now, here's an interesting thing. Did you ever notice this about models? It's like women know about models and men don't. You know, when it really comes to what models are doing or what models are up to, you would think that men would follow, like, supermodels, but women tend to know all about them and men know nothing.
She's on Oprah a lot. Oprah likes her.
Again, I'm going to need help here. Who's Oprah?
I hope you know who Oprah is.
All right, thank you for your help. Hey,
You're welcome.
You know what? We're going to send you into the big-ass prize closet. Ring that cowbell for us. Hey, Dubs, we'll give you something for helping us with the Naomi Campbell. When did you start hating her, Fez?
Oh, just the other day.
Now I feel sad that she's hitting people, and she's Nelson Mandela's granddaughter.
You'd think she'd know something a little bit about tolerance.
You would think, wouldn't you? But, of course, her grandmother didn't do too well on that. Anyway, hey, by the way, Dubs was telling me during the smoke break that a lot of people are confusing him and who, Dubs?
Charles Mann, who Hefe's doing the post-game show with. Actually, John Spahn, one of the guys who works for Redskin Sales, is like, why didn't you tell me you guys were doing the post-game show? Hefe is, I'm not. He's like, oh, I thought I heard you. And I'll go on the message boards, and everybody's like, is that Dubs or is that Charles Mann?
Now, does he sound like you?
I guess so. I didn't listen to this last pregame, postgame show. So.
Boy, are you going to be out of a gig.
I know.
It's always funny when people tell you. I mean, it's one thing to hear you look like somebody because you have a mirror. You're not going to understand who you look with, but then when they tell you you sound like somebody, that's always the funniest thing to me. I would always get two things. I don't hear either one anymore. People would always say Joe Pesci, that I have a Joe Pesci thing going on there somehow. And the other one that I would get all the time is Bruno Kirby. Remember Bruno Kirby?
Oh, sure. Yeah, from Six Lickers and Good Morning Vietnam. Lieutenant Steve.
Yeah, I have more of his sense of humor in that, more than anything. What about you, Fez? You got Jeff Garcia. I remember that was coming up for a while.
Oh, I get the best of both worlds on sight and sound. I'm told I sound like Nathan Lane. I get that a lot.
Yeah, you know what? He could resemble Nathan Lane a little bit.
But then on the visual, I get Hacksaw Jim Duggan quite often. So that's really the combo you want, Nathan Lane and ho.
I remember when you got the Hacksaw Jim Duggan. That's when you let your hair get a little bushy. Remember that was the longest hair you ever had? And you went into like a supermarket, and the people were following you around, believing that Hacksaw had showed up buying all the cereal.
Yeah, that I had just, and shrunk somehow because I'm not as big as Hacksaw, please. But they were very excited that Jim Duggan had walked into their grocery store.
That's funny, though. It's funny to be told that you sound like somebody. That's always an odd thing. Hey, John, you're on the Ron and Fez show. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, Ron and Fez.
Hey, man.
Hey, I just want to talk about the similarities you guys are talking about between men and women.
Yeah.
Women may follow the careers of supermodels. Men follow the careers of porn stars. Not that much difference, though.
It's kind of odd, but it's not like women know who male supermodels are, if there even is such a thing as male supermodels. It seems like they don't get to have as big a career as the women. They get paid.
Even every guy knows who Ron Jeremy is.
Every guy, Ron Jeremy will go out and do a gig, and everybody will treat him. And they also know who the female porn stars are. We've had a lot do the show before, and people will call the show and go over their bio with them like a mystery writer. You know how like a mystery writer will have those cult people? The porn stars get the same thing.
The modern-day superheroes.
Yeah, it's an odd thing. Thank you very much, my man.
Yeah, the male models, they never get recognized until they go off and do something else, like an Ashton Kutcher who gets a TV show.
See, I didn't know he was a male model. I never knew that before.
And then they'll say, like, former Tommy Hilfiger model, Ashton Kutcher.
But they don't kind of become famous, and they don't make the same kind of money. Like the supermodel women will make like 10 G's a day, and then the supermodel men will make $1,000. And that's like right at the top of whoever the male models are.
Right, and they never get the fame while modeling.
I have a friend that did Tommy Hilfiger modeling, and he...
Charles Mann?
Yes.
Is that you talking, Charles Mann? I saw you come in with El Jefe.
He did it for like 5 or 6 years,
yeah.
And he was really big with the company, but only pulled in probably about 300,000 or 400,000 within that time when women were pulling in, millions.
10 times that, right?
I can get him on the phone if you want to. Talk to him about
what would I possibly say? I mean, if I was doing the, Jeff Garcia show, yeah, I'd call him immediately.
Now he's bartending at Tomato Brothers.
What are you wearing?
I would just feel bad, and tell him, hey, sorry it didn't, work out as good as it did for the ladies.
All right, everybody keeps sending me this story, Fez. Again, it comes out of Florida, Stuart, Florida this time. Dramatic rescue ends tragically in Stuart, Florida, when a 600-pound woman died after being surgically removed from her couch. They had to cut her off the couch. She had been there so long.
Oh, man, so she just grafted to the vinyl.
Oh.
That's frightening. It's like when you see like a tree like that starts to grow like around a pole or through a fence or something.
Yeah.
This woman actually grew to her couch.
And then here's the bad thing. When they tried to get her out, they also had to knock down the front wall again. It's always the saddest thing when they try to get these people out of their house, that they can't fit through the door.
Yeah, there's no sort of, all right, let's just do this incognito or whatever. There's no hiding that from the neighbors because, you're going to dismantle the house.
Do you have that story, Fez, that we had the other day from Chicago? This is... another one of those terrible, terrible stories that you hear about in the news now.
Yeah, this is a woman she was at a barbecue restaurant in Chicago.
Let me just ask you, you need longer arms to read that? You're wearing glasses, and yet you've got this thing as far away from yourself as you can possibly get.
When I read, I can only do one of two things. I either have to take off the glasses to read, and now I can't see you.
Mm-hmm.
Or I can just hold this out where it helps with my nearsightedness.
All right, so you need bifocals on your regular lenses. That's what you need.
Oh, am I at that point?
Yeah, look at these reading glasses, and just for reading, not for anything else.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
Yeah. So you're going to have one. You have one of those bad eye deals where this might be why you don't read books. You need bifocals. You need reading glasses.
I need one part of my body to work, is what I need.
But here's what's great about it. You're nearsighted and farsighted at the same time.
So right now, whenever I read, I can't do it with my glasses on. And the ears don't work. The teeth are falling out. It's just a mess. But this is a woman who went to a barbecue restaurant in Chicago, and she was going to use the restroom, going to the ladies, and got wedged in the doorway that leads to the restrooms.
So she's stuck in the doorway. The people in the diner are trying to shove her out of the way, and then they start to poke at her with plastic forks while they chant, "Fatty, fatty, 2x4, can't get through the kitchen door." I wish I was making this up, but it's a true story. Then the cops also said, "It was." Why are you laughing, Dub?
Stand up, Dub.
Charles Mann would not be laughing.
I can't handle fat stories. I just can't. I lose it.
It was double doors that she couldn't fit through.
Yeah, she's a 6.5 bill, 650-pounder, and tried to use the ladies, gets stuck in there, and according to the manager of the restaurant, they turned her into a human pincushion. And according to the article, the woman stood there squealing and crying in pain. Now, if you're writing this, you do not have to use the word squealing. That is a total option on your part.
So the beauty of the story is now she is going to sue the restaurant for not having wide enough doors and protecting people from being stabbed in the butt with plastic forks while they chant fatty, fatty, 2x4, can't get through the kitchen door.
So they're going to use like surveillance video from the restaurant to try to pick out who among the 40 people jabbing her with forks they can identify so she can sue them too.
Now, where did this happen, Fez?
This was in Chicago.
I'm going to be willing to bet that this was a hip-hop crowd. And I know I'm even going to give myself this.
White people are so scared of black people.
But I just can't think that the white audience will be able to think quick enough to come up with the fatty, fatty 2x4.
Apparently they were calling her Miss Piggy as well.
Ouch.
It all started when one guy started yelling at her, "Get out of the way, I have to use the bathroom." And she couldn't. She was wedged in there.
She was stuck. What is she supposed to do? She's 6'80".
And then when they started poking her with the fork, she's screaming, "Why are you doing this to me? Why? Why are you poking me with plastic forks?
I have enough problems."
So firefighters, they had to cut and pry the exhausted woman, as she's described here.
Wouldn't you be exhausted if you were stuck?
Just the leg wiggling to try to get loose would do me in.
Every doorway to her seems like, I don't know. What do you think? Can we make it?
That's got to be awful. Just trying to judge the fact that, all right, when those automatic doors open, I just got to go. If they start to shut the tiniest bit, I'm caught in there like a rat in a trap. So they had to they had to free her using saws, crowbars, and the jaws of life, which is normally used, of course, for auto wreckage.
Why didn't they just hit her in the back with a hose and try to push her through?
Nothing they tried worked. They should have gotten some of the something to, lube her up, some of the sauce or something at the barbecue joint.
She'd already eaten it. That is long gone.
It just sucked right into her skin.
Just get some people that have finished off some ribs with their greasy hands.
No, here's the weird deal. She has this horrific experience where she's stuck in double doors. People are poking her with forks, slapping her on the butt, and calling her names. Today she gets up, hears that another big woman is stuck to a couch and dies, and she thinks to herself, I'm lucky. Now, that's bad. I have no idea how anyone would let themselves go that far. Yeah, I got stuck between some doors. I don't let myself get grafted to a couch. That's sloppy. That's no way to live your life.
Just looking down on her. Oh, get up and do something. Go out. Go to barbecue places. Get stuck in double doors. Just move. Do something.
I gotta go where the fries are. I gotta be where the fries are. Where was she sitting in this place?
Yeah, I can't believe she obviously couldn't have been in a booth. And I doubt if she was sitting at the counter.
Maybe she's just using the booth to sit in. They pull the table out. She wedges herself back in the booth and then puts a tray on her lap.
She's bigger than the booth. Oh, golly. And fatty 2x4.
That's so preschool. That's a preschool chant.
Just to pull that one out of the archives. Like these people had been waiting 20 years since they were in school. Wait a minute, it's a chance to use the old fatty 2x4. Couldn't get through the barbecue door line.
They're actually sitting there blowing dust off their old pages. Here's an old chestnut that'll fit just now. It's fatty 2x4. Can't get through the kitchen door.
She really should have come back with sticks and stones could break my bones, but names will never hurt me.
No, it's the forks that hurt her. The forks is what started to hurt her. Please, no forks.
Or just the old I'm rubber, you're glue, whatever you say bounces off of me and sticks to you.
They're just going to yell you're 6'80", and there's no combat for that.
Yeah, one of the other insults yelled out was also tub of lard.
Ouch.
was included, which
she knows she's big. She's stuck in a double door. You think you could call her a name to make her feel worse about herself? She's stuck. She can't move down a hallway. And then you're thinking to yourself, it's time for me to take her down a peg. I think I'm going to hurt her feelings.
Well, the ironic, sad thing was they actually had to bring in a tub of lard to grease the door. It's so sad, the irony of it.
The other sad thing is why it took them almost 2 hours to get out of there, and she had reordered 3 extra time.
See, that's not going to help.
Dessert menu, please.
And some hush puppies.
And all the fries you can give me, please.
They said she was dehydrated by the time they got her out of there.
Just sweating.
Yeah,
just sweating to the oldies.
Yeah, they had to just start pumping mesquite as soon as possible.
Of course she was. Of course she was dehydrated. She could smell the kitchen and couldn't move.
Now she couldn't get through the entrance that led to the bathrooms. What in the world was she going to try to do on that toilet? What in the world was she? She was just going to get stuck wherever she landed.
Yeah.
If she had made it through that door, then there would be no getting her out of the bathroom, I'm sure.
All right, Randy wrote in and says something that we all feel. Dubs is a horrible person.
Why?
You know why, Dubs, because you're taking some kind of joy in this story that's a scary, horrifying story, and any human would feel for another person.
I just get the picture in my head of her stuck and a bunch of kids just jabbing her with forks, and she's wiggling. All you can see is her butt just jiggling a little bit.
But look at you right now. You're on a fast, right?
Yeah.
How long have you been on the fast?
This is my second day.
How you feeling?
Good. Yesterday was rough, but I'm feeling good today.
You're the slowest person I've ever known on a fast.
Now, they say when you do a fast, you shouldn't smoke.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to give up all my vices.
Yeah, you smoke and fast at the same time. How long are you going to do it for?
10 days.
Wow. Impressive. I'll take you out for ice cream when you're done.
Nice. It's back to the barbecue joint.
Erica, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hi, how are you? This brings a whole new element to the I've fallen and I can't get up. I mean, this has gone beyond that. I mean, she should be the new spokeswoman for, like, Richard Simmons or something.
Now, would you find yourself part of the crowd mentality being mean, or would you try to defend her?
Well, I'm a nurse, so I deal with extremely large people on a daily basis and have to move them and stuff.
Do you feel a lot of fork wounds?
I'm sorry?
Fez is having fun at somebody else's
fork wounds?
Don't listen
I mean,
to him.
we do joke, you know. I mean, it's just like, how the hell...
I heard that laugh. Go ahead. What's some of the jokes you said?
I mean, we just have jokes about all the different types of patients sometimes, you know, like, how can people...
What's one of the funny things you say about the cancer patients?
I don't really deal with cancer patients.
I don't blame you. They're trouble.
Not good enough appetites.
You know, and it's just like people, they eat and eat and eat, and there's really something upstairs wrong with them, I think. I mean, get on some psych meds, or, you know, go see a shrink or something.
Who, the fat people or the people poking with forks?
Well, probably both. But, you know, if I was there, I would probably try and help her. I would probably defend her.
Yeah.
To tell them, hey, you need to stop poking at her. Or
that you sound like a superhero to me. Hey, stop poking her. She's 6'80". Stop poking her with forks.
I would hand him a bigger fork.
Stop it.
I would, you know, or get a shovel or something and grease it up with some, like, what's the stuff, you know?
Gravy?
Gravy, you know, like...
I'd bring out one of those heat lamps and have the guy start slicing the prime rib.
You know what the first thing I would do?
But, you know, when she's really greasy, she'd probably be really tough to eat.
Stop it. That's disgusting. And you're a nurse, like Fez.
Well, see, that's how we think.
It's an awful profession that you're in. First thing I would do, if I owned the diner, I'd close the place down. Get rid of everybody and try to restore this woman's dignity.
Yeah, no way.
You wouldn't do that for her? You would let her sit there and be poked with forks? You wouldn't think to yourself, here's a woman, a human being like everybody else. I'm not going to help her. I'm not going to be there for her. This is going to be funny to me?
Florence Nightmare?
You mean to tell me that you're not laughing there?
No, not at all. I find it a horrifying story. I'm disturbed by it. Tubbs is laughing because he's an immature nurse wannabe.
But no, I mean, you feel sorry for them to a point, but, you know, you can only advocate people once they stop giving...
Eric, She's stuck in a doorway. People are now taking her, and you know her life is in danger anyway. They're poking her with forks as they chant at her. And you're saying you can't.
That is wrong.
Where did it go wrong for you?
The forks or the chanting fatty, fatty 2x4?
Probably the fact that she got stuck in the door.
Then why laugh?
I mean, you know what? The thing is, it's reality, and that's what happens, and she should know that.
It's her fault.
This would be a great reality show.
Yeah.
When they're too fast to get through the door.
Yeah. All right, now what if you saw someone in a wheelchair fall down some steps? That would also that's reality as well. That's reality.
You know what? A normal person could fall down the steps. So that's reality, too. And I would probably...
Okay, hold on. I want to find out from the nurse. So someone who's obese and somebody who's in a wheelchair, they're not normal people.
No, they are normal people. What is normal, though?
You tell me. You're the nurse. You just said normal people could also fall down steps.
Yeah.
So you're setting up a criteria.
You know what? Anybody can fall down the steps in a wheelchair. I was in a wheelchair because I had knee surgery, and I could have fell down the steps.
Should have. All right, thank you, honey.
You're welcome.
All right, bye-bye. Here is Jim. Jim, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, Ron, it could have been a lot worse, man. It could have been a Mexican restaurant. They could have taken sticks to her and yelled, "Piñata, piñata."
Oh, God. If they would have started beating her with like she was a piñata, and God knows what was falling out of the bottom of her dress, that would have been the worst thing ever.
What kind of prizes could you hope for?
Not good ones, Fez. Not good ones.
Refried beans.
Unbelievable. Thank you, Jim. Terrible story. Just horrid. Mike, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, Ron. Hey, Fez.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, how's Fuzz Watley doing?
Oh, he's not real.
He's stuck in a door. Go ahead, buddy.
Hey, when I was in college, I studied with the psych department.
Yeah.
They took us to this the hospital where the fat people used to have to come in and get weighed and showered and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
One of the nurses says they had this guy that came in weighing about 600, and when they lifted up the roll of fat, there was actually silverfish crawling in the rolls of flesh.
Why would you tell me this story? I'm itching so bad right now.
Now I miss Abdullah the Butcher.
Oh.
He used to hide a fork.
Yeah, sure. Sure he did.
He was a hero to the fat people.
Is he gone now?
Yeah, we lost Abdullah.
He used the fork back on the skinny people.
Unbelievable.
It had to be insane when that woman felt the first fork and had to go, "What's that?" And then to realize what it is.
How long did it take her? How long did it take her to feel it?
It wouldn't be my first thought that what I'm feeling are forks.
Eventually feel it. All right, 866-277-4969. We're going to give away some Kid Rock tickets now, Fez.
That's right. It's Kid Rock at the Merriweather Post Pavilion. That show is coming up Thursday, September 9th.
Now, Lindy England is having a baby, and I guess she'll be having it behind bars. She's the tiny little headed person who got caught up with the prison scandal overseas.
Yeah, with her tiny head, somehow she's the brains behind the whole Abu Ghraib prison scandal.
All right, 866-277-4969. Call in now and win Kid Rock tickets. All we're going to do is pick the best name for Lindy England's baby. She's the tiny little headed woman who's found herself in big, big trouble with the United States government because she's set up that naked butt pyramid, if you're to believe the case against her. 866-277-4969. Win Kid Rock tickets. Call in and win now. It's the Ron and Fez Show.